My girlfriend quit her career after I became a millionaire. Now I'm not sure this can last. 7 years ago, I met Kylie, not her real name, during our days at community college. We clicked almost instantly, becoming best friends and, 2 years later, officially a couple. Back then, she had big dreams of becoming a nurse, a passion she talked about all the time. I admired her drive and supported her completely, just as she did for me. When I transferred to a 4-year university to get my MBA, Kylie stood by me through all the late nights and stressful exams, even as her own situation became more complicated. Kylie's parents had always supported her financially, but eventually, they cut her off due to her spending habits. She took it in stride, though, working full-time for a year to cover her bills and stay afloat. During this period, I was investing every penny and spare moment into a startup venture in the automotive sector with my best friend. It was a long shot, but we believed in it, and finally, earlier this year, it paid off. We received a buyout offer that completely changed my life, turning my years of hard work and sacrifice into a financial breakthrough. To top it off, I was retained as a consultant with a substantial salary. Throughout everything, Kylie had been working at a jewelry store, and after the buyout, she handed in her 2-week notice. I was thrilled to be in a position to help her now, offering to cover her school expenses so she could finally pursue her nursing dream without financial worries. She seemed excited about the idea at first, and to show my commitment, I even bought us a condo closer to the school she'd attend. Moving out of our cramped apartment felt like a huge step forward for us both. But things took a strange turn last weekend. As we were talking about her plans, Kylie casually mentioned that she wasn't sure about going back to school. Instead, she suggested the idea of being a stay-at-home wife, which felt odd because we're not even married. I didn't know how to react, so I stayed quiet, but the whole thing left me feeling uneasy. What initially drew me to Kylie was her ambition and drive. Now, it felt like she'd lost all interest in her own goals the moment I came into money. On top of that, her spending started to increase. She began eyeing luxury items and even started browsing for new cars. I wondered if I was reading too much into things, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something fundamental between us had changed. Despite my feelings, I knew I had to address the issue directly if we were going to have a future together. So last Thursday, I sat her down for a serious conversation about what comes next. I told her that I wanted to support her education fully and would handle her expenses while she went back to school. But I needed her to have some kind of plan by December. Either go back to school or pursue a career. The reaction I got shocked me. She grew defensive, telling me that I owed her for supporting me while I built my career. And she even claimed that she had wasted 5 years with me when she could have been with someone who would give her a stable, luxury lifestyle right away. She said she could have been married and starting a family by now if it weren't for me. This was a side of Kylie I had never seen before. She was visibly upset, almost having a breakdown. Her outburst left me speechless. I had come from a middle-class family where both parents worked hard and contributed, so this attitude felt alien to me. After hearing her out, I realized that maybe money had brought out a side of her that I hadn't recognized before. I told her, honestly, that I couldn't keep going like this. I explained that I had a business trip to attend, and when I returned, I wanted her things moved out of the condo. She could leave the keys with a mutual friend. That night, I canceled the credit card I had been letting her use, and because the car she drove was in her name, with only a few payments left, I knew she could handle it herself. The next day, I got a call from Kylie's sister, who told me Kylie had been crying non-stop and wanted to work things out. I appreciated her reaching out, but by that point, I was emotionally drained and didn't think reconciliation would solve anything. Then her best friend reached out, asking to meet up because she had something important to show me about Kylie. I told her I'd consider it, but in truth, I had no interest in digging up any more drama. Once my trip is over, I plan to put the condo on the market and move on from this chapter of my life. Honestly, this experience has left me disillusioned about dating. Trusting someone's true intentions feels impossible after all of this. I'll always appreciate the support Kylie gave me in the past, but I can't ignore the person she's become. Or maybe the person she's been all along. Thanks to everyone who listened and offered their advice.